Blog Talk Radio.
What's up, college football fans out there, and welcome to another edition of Quick Slants, the show where we talk nothing but college football, brought to you, of course, by World Run Sports. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev McMillan, but I'm at the round table with the star of this show. We got a new man in the building here, actually. We got somebody that I need to welcome to the club. I got to welcome to the club, the Tie in the Knot Club, the Jump in the Broom Club. Congrats to my partner, Fred Perdue. What's up, Fred?
What's going on, man? I'm glad to be a part of the club, man. It feels great.
All right. You know, I'm not a pessimist here, but, you know, it always feels great the first week. just delete from your memory that I ever said that. But I love you, baby. It wasn't me. All right, man. So definitely congrats to you and the missus. But yeah, we're gonna jump right into this college football. That's funny, you know, because you were all doing important life things, and even though, you know, we were here just last week, it seems like there was a break in between. You know what I'm saying? It seems like you took a break to go do this, but in reality, we were just here a week ago. Yeah, but let's talk about it. There's some things going on in college football right now, and the first one I want to ask you about, Zach Smith has been granted a 3-year protection order. What is this about?
Well, the wife of Zach Smith, he's really in trouble now. He can't do anything now. This whole situation at Ohio State has been, I mean, not only that, to add on to the fact that they lost, they were blown out last week by my namesake. Not different spelling, but my namesake. I'll take credit for it. But this whole situation has been very, very crazy. She got the protection she needed. I don't think he's going anywhere near her anymore. I don't think he's going anywhere near a coaching position either. But this is kind of like the icing on the cake. It's a small, very small, and I don't want to marginalize it, but it was a very small token for her and she's still going after people. So kudos to her for going after people, even if you don't make any money out of it. The money is just it's like the extra at the end. But to raise awareness about this and put some of these coaches on blast. I mean, too much protection out here for some of these coaches.
All right. Well, let's keep it here at Ohio State because of that loss. You know, when things are good and you're winning, everything's good, even amongst the scandal that started the season. But when you have that and then you pile it on with a very surprise loss, like you just mentioned, then these type of things happen. Rumors are talking about tensions growing between Ohio State officials and Urban Meyer. Officials, most notably and namely, athletic director Gene Smith. Now, of course, publicly, Urban Meyer has denied these claims of tension. Quote unquote, he said there's no tension. I talk with and work with Gene darn near on a daily basis. There's zero tension there. Do you believe him?
We don't believe you. You need more people. Why you always lying? Urban liar. These are all of the things, to quote another personality, Paul Feinbaum. Urban Meyer likes to run, and he runs away and he quits. This is the beginning. I've seen this story all over again. I feel like at the University of Florida when Tim Tebow left, and it was over with there. It feels like this is the beginning of the end. The only problem is now the Notre Dame job looks pretty good, but Brian Kelly looks like he has a good handle on that. See, we have receipts. I remember, and I have a college football memory like an elephant. We don't forget anything. I really don't. And I remember back when he was leaving at Florida, the rumblings and his attention was on that Notre Dame job. He was just in love with it, especially after he left and he was on TV. Especially, I'm just curious, how do you go from being on, a football sideline to, being on TV and your head was hurting and all this other stuff, and then you come back after a year. But these are all things we remember. We remember Urban Meyer. We remember the things you do. And and for me, when I look at what's happening right now there's tension. Ohio State may have had a big loss. Yeah, the team looks good, but the defense, they haven't really – they always lose that one game that they're not supposed to lose, and they fall out of that championship Final Four situation. They have a pretty good quarterback, but he's a sophomore. He has an opportunity to go to the NFL. If he bolts, maybe Urban Meyer bolts.
No doubt. So, once again, Urban, Fred's short answer is...
Well, we don't believe you. You need more people.
You need a whole lot more people, if you want us to believe that there's no tension between himself and the AD. All right, let's go over to the program that you know so well, the program that you love. The U, Miami quarterback N'Kosi Perry, he's been benched, but he was benched for something he did off the field, flashing wads of money in a rap video. Are they taking this whole thing too seriously, or, was there something going on in this video, if you've seen it, that warranted, this type of reaction from the program?
Well, Miami officials, they have quicker people in high places than the president, I guess, because that video was scrubbed from the internet so fast. I got bits and pieces. I didn't even get the whole thing. But this dates back to the loss to Virginia a couple weeks ago now, and that was why Malik Rozier was named the starter right after. N'Kosi Perry he was 2 for 6. You yank him, Mark Richt has kind of just messed this whole situation up. But right after that game, Malik Rozier, who we've already seen this situation already, Miami fans have been clamoring for him to go away. To just go away, go play baseball, go be an astronaut. I don't care what you do, just go away. He doesn't give you the best chance to win, but when you have a redshirt freshman being very immature, the things that Miami has gone through over the years, whether it was the Randy Shannon era, the Al Golden era, we know how I feel about those two individuals. But the scandals that happened with all the money, the Nevin Shapiro stuff, you can't do this. Even if you're just playing around, you don't give the NCAA any ammunition, because you only had to really give up 30 scholarships over 3 years. That's a slap on the wrist. I mean, and you came out on the other end, and there was no death penalty, and it should have probably, because the NCAA got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and you pretty much gave up a bowl game. I mean, in a year that you weren't all that great. So I think Mark Richt understands this. He understands the growth that he is seeing. He understands where this program is going, and he doesn't want any distractions. With that being said, N'Kosi Perry is the best option. You have a quarterback, and if you don't start him, Mark Richt, I've already had reservations, and that's for another day. But I'm starting to have reservations about this coaching staff, in particular Mark Richt, because of the quarterback situation, the play calling. He's a part of the problem, and I'm not saying he's not out Golden bad. Don't get me wrong. That's a completely different bad. But sometimes you have to put your pride to the side. Yeah, you're trying to run a good program, but sometimes you may be part of the problem. Malik Rozier gives you the best option to win because he fits your play calling style. But you have a superstar type quarterback in the making right now. He's a great athlete and he's really good. He can throw the football, but this is one of those things where let it go. Make him run suicides or something, and then let it go.
All right, so when LSU lines it up on Saturday in Death Valley against the number one team in the nation, everybody knows who that is, Roll Tide, they're going to be without, an important player in that front seven for the first half of the game, and this is because junior linebacker Devin White has been suspended for what's being deemed as a questionable targeting call on Mississippi State quarterback Nick Fitzgerald, and this happened in the second round of their win last week, 19-3 over Mississippi State. Of course, they appealed to the NCAA, and the suspension has been upheld. We know what the whole nation expects Alabama to do anyway. They expect the Tide to come in and roll. But playing without their junior linebacker in the first half, is it going to have any impact on what we might see early in this game?
Oh, definitely. This game is going to be a lot closer than people think. LSU has a legit defense. Devin White is the field general on the defensive side. He makes all the checks. He makes all the calls. He is the quarterback of that defense, and he is legit. He's a legit NFL linebacker. He runs sideline to sideline. He will take your head off. And quite honestly, that call was one of the worst calls I've seen. This targeting thing it's getting out of control. When I see things like this, especially when it's on quarterbacks, it really, really makes me mad. And then it's like sometimes you wonder, does Alabama have a little pull here? Because this happens right before the Alabama game. LSU's on bye week this week, so that works out for them. But at the end of the day, I don't understand how you can make this judgment right now. And he's out for the half, and it will definitely affect them. I think LSU won't make any excuses. They'll prepare like they're supposed to prepare. But Nick Saban knows that their star linebacker won't be on the field. He will exploit this for the first half. He's going to run down. He's going to run downhill early and often. He's going to probably take shots down the middle of the field. Anything that you can do to exploit a middle linebacker, and we know he's not just your typical thumper middle linebacker. He can play in coverage too. So Devin White will be missed. Hopefully it's not too late in the second half, because we know how many points Alabama likes to score early. But I think this game will be a lot closer than people think, at least for a half. If that defense can somewhat keep this, just kind of slow the bleeding down a little. It just seems like that's impossible now with the way this offense at Alabama's rolling. But LSU likes to play a lot of man coverage. Alabama likes to go down the field early. So maybe that secondary will step up. Maybe that D-line will step up, put some pressure on Tua, and hold off until maybe this offense will score some points.
To be 100% honest, I mean, you talked about how suspect the call was. I can't fathom, Fred, how you can be a person in power, a decision maker on this whole thing, and you can sit down and watch this video and uphold this suspension. I don't understand how. You know what I'm saying? Like, who has money on Alabama? I mean, Alabama doesn't need your help. But this is one of the most egregious calls that I've seen. And even if you make the call and the refs are going to, use the excuse of it being a bang-bang play, which is a valid excuse, after you get time to sit down and watch this, how in the hell can you uphold a targeting violation on this particular play? I don't know, man. Let's keep it here for this Alabama LSU contest. Jalen Hurts sprained his ankle versus Tennessee and actually had minor surgery. Does this mean Tua gets to play a whole game to himself? Which he should be doing anyway?
I think so. For me, when I look, like I said earlier, this game's going to be a lot closer than people think. LSU's defense is legit. They have a legit top 10 to 15 defense. And they have it at every level. D-line, linebackers, secondary. Secondary is probably one of the best I've seen in a while. And we know how good those guys are year to year. Tua's going to have to really work. This is probably going to be the best defense he's seen on all levels. And I think he'll have to play a full game.
All right, so before we get into the college pick'em information, I was about to call them picks of the week, information of the week, because Fred's just giving you information. He's not going to give you his actual picks. But before we get into that, Fred, just give me, a brief synopsis of where we stand right now in the Heisman race. It's time for Heismanomics.
This Heisman race is, and for me, this is easy, because right now Tua Tagovailoa is really just, he's making it very hard for me not to just give this to this man for unanimously. I mean, really, he hasn't lost a game. If I remember correctly, he hasn't thrown a pick. I didn't get the chance to see Alabama, Tennessee, but from all the numbers I saw and a few highlights I saw in the late night hours when I was by myself later on. But you know, this man is hard to stop. And quite honestly, he probably deserves this thing unanimously. I want to see him if he beats LSU, him and Alabama, they just rout LSU, give it to him. Not even close. Dwayne Haskins is right behind him. Despite the loss to Purdue, he's still just a heck of a quarterback. I really hope he doesn't decide to come out. He needs maybe one more year, but he has NFL written all over him. And Kyler Murray, what else can I say about the kid? Even without a defense, this dude is putting up numbers. He's putting up big-time numbers. He can run the football, too. He's faster than I thought he would be. And he's just putting up big-time numbers in that offense to the point where you have NFL coaches coming to talk to Lincoln Riley about this offense and trying to pick his brain about what can they do to implement some of the things that they do in that offense in the NFL. So that's very telling. Some guys that maybe – this is really just a three-horse race, quite honestly. But on the outside looking in, Jonathan Taylor is definitely just one of the best backs in the country. But you have three good quarterbacks. It's hard to put them in there. Also, Travis Etienne from Clemson. We haven't seen Clemson. It seems like we haven't seen Clemson in a couple of weeks. They haven't put any big splash highlights out there. It seems like forever ago that Kelly Bryant was the quarterback, and he decided to leave and take business elsewhere, and Trevor Lawrence got hurt literally the same couple of days afterwards. But Travis Etienne has been the focus of this team offensively, and he has delivered the goods. He won't do it. He won't do it this year, but watch out next year. Just be careful, Clemson. Treat your running back good. Trevor Lawrence might have a running back next year.
All right. That's Heismanomics for you. We're going to get into the college pick'em for the week. And if you're a part of our pick'em group, like this is when your ears need to perk up. You need to pay attention because Fred's going to drop some jewels on you about each of these games. We're going to blow through it as quickly as possible this week, but he's going to drop some jewels on you. And if you're unsure about some of your picks, this may help you get over that decision hump. And shout out to Miz. We got to give him his props because the back-to-back college pick'em winner has taken the lead on us, Fred. So we got to get our things together.
His head out of the sand. He's coming. I had a couple bad weeks. So I got to come back and get.
You were busy. You were busy last week, so we're going to give you a mulligan on that one. But it's time to step it back up. All right, so let's start out real quick with the number 20 Wisconsin Badgers. I'm going to face the Northwestern Wildcats at 4-3.
We know what to expect from a Wisconsin team that has really been the same thing for years upon years. Alex Hornibrook, really good quarterback, and he's able to distribute the football, but the focus of this team is Jonathan Taylor. He's been able to put up 100 yards pretty much every game, even in losses. But this Northwestern team, they're a pesky bunch. They just find ways to stay in games. Clayton Thorson has really been able to make plays with his arm and his legs. Pat Fitzgerald has a tough, gritty football team. This game will not be easy. This will be an old-school, hit-him-in-the-mouth on both sides of the ball type of game. I won't call it low-scoring because college football is no longer a low-scoring affair type of thing. But expect this game to be a lot closer than people really think.
All right, and we're going to go. We just talked about Clemson briefly a few minutes ago. We got the number 2 Clemson Tigers going to see those Seminoles of Florida State. ACC battle.
Florida State isn't. I'm kind of torn on this team because defensively they're really good, but they have a really good quarterback who's gun shy now because the previous regime as well as the current regime has not been able to protect him. And the offensive line is just putrid. You have a really good running back in Cam Akers, who you guys got one more year with this kid, and then he's done. So you might want to put him in the lineup and use him. Ja'Quise Patrick is pretty good, but Cam Akers breaks one pretty much every game. But I think with this team, or with this game, Florida State is going to get harassed. The defensive line of Clemson, you have 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 first-round quality players in this on this defensive line alone. And Dexter Lawrence is just a complete beast. Christian Wilkins might not be the best, might be the worst of the bunch, and he's already won a national championship, so he knows how to win, and he's had his battles with this team. Cleveland Farrell, who I've seen a lot of Jadeveon Clowney in, is a long, athletic defensive end who can just bend the edge. If he gets a hand on that quarterback, you might see a few strip sacks. Who knows? But that's going to be that's going to be the battle this week. Can this Clemson defensive line just find ways to harass and just disrupt that Florida State offense?
All right. So now we have Purdue coming off their biggest win in years, going to see Michigan State.
Wow, Michigan State, they found a way to lose another one to Michigan. Great job. Even after they stepped on the middle of your field. Good job. This is going to be one of those games where it could be one of two things. You're going to see a Purdue team who came off a huge blowout win. Not just usually when you see a team, a lesser team beat an Ohio State or an Alabama or something, you don't
squeak it out
them,
usually.
Yeah, they squeak it out and it's in dramatic form. No, these guys they beat you up by almost 30 points. So, and I mean, it was just really bad. I got a chance to see the tape from that. But freshman Ronell Moore, he's number 4, wide receiver. He is a complete beast. And he is only going to get better. He's a shifty guy, not a big guy, just a shifty guy. And we know how in college football those shifty guys find ways to get in open space and break a couple. But, like I said, this could go one of two ways. This game, you can see the momentum from the Ohio State game come to this Purdue team, and they can just give Michigan State that work. Or this could be a really bad letdown, letdown after an emotional game for the Purdue Boilermakers. I'll let you decide if you're playing in this pick'em, but I might be leaning green. Who knows?
All right. Let's go Texas Tech coming in at 5-2 versus Iowa State.
Those pesky Cyclones. These Cyclones just find ways to just irritate people. And to the point, I literally used to just put my money on a team playing this Iowa State team. My money goes nowhere near this Iowa State team because if they don't find a way to upset that team, they find a way to cover every freaking spread. I hate you, Iowa State. I just can't stand you. But this is going to be a good game with Texas Tech where they're throwing the ball around the yard. Matt Campbell's going to have to find ways for his team to withstand that offense. Dakota Allen is the guy I want to highlight in this one. For all our Last Chance U viewers, he was on the Last Chance U season 1 with EMCC. He is one of the star linebackers on this team for Texas Tech, and he is a tackling machine. I am interested anytime I get a chance to see him play, how often he can just read, react, and just make plays. He diagnoses plays pre-snap faster than most guys. He has NFL written all over him. He's probably not going to be a first or second round guy, but he'll be a very, very valuable piece to somebody's NFL team. Can't wait to see him.
All right, well, speaking of EMCC, shout out to Chad Kelly. That's all I wanted to say. Next up, we got a top 25 battle going on, and these teams are, almost even in the standings. We got number 18, Iowa, going to see number 17, Penn State, and not-so-happy Valley. We
were so high on this Penn State team early in the season. Trace McSorley was a a Heisman finalist or a Heisman contender. He's still a really good player, but you can tell that Saquon Barkley guy who went to the Giants, who, by the way, are 1-6, you can tell how much of a difference that he made on this team. When you lose a potential Rookie of the Year NFL candidate, you lose a lot of production at the running back spot. You can replace him with 3 or 4 guys, but you'll never replace that one special player. On the other side, Iowa, we know what they are. They are a banged-out type of team. They're going to run the football, play good defense. Kirk Ferentz is going to want to grind this game out. This game's in Happy Valley, so I typically go with the home team. But this home team, Trace McSorley and company have not been playing well, and defense just does not look good. They don't stop the run really well, and guess what? Iowa is a physical football team. Good luck, Happy Valley faithful.
All right. Like I said, not so Happy Valley going on out there right now, but we'll see how this one shakes out. We got another top 25 alert. We got number 9, Florida, going to see number 7, Georgia, the Gators and the Bulldogs.
They hate us. They hate when we call it this, but it's the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Played in Jacksonville. This game will put more bodies in seats than the Jacksonville Jaguars will do all season. And, well, even if they were winning, it wouldn't matter. So you're going to see a lot of this game is going to be full of big hits, very, very physical play, defense. The Florida defense is one of the best in the SEC, but the offense is just finding its way along. On Georgia's end, Jake Fromm has gotten a lot of criticism after that loss to LSU, to the point where they're asking for him to be fed. They're saying bench him. I'm not ready to say that, but Kirby Smart knows what his team has to do. I said it a couple weeks ago. What if something crazy like maybe Florida finding a way to win this game and making their way into the SEC championship? I'm not telling you who I'm picking, but let's just say I was actually serious about that whole Florida making it to the SEC championship and facing Alabama.
All right, let's go number 21, South Florida versus Houston. Houston's at 6-1, even though South Florida's undefeated and ranked. This one might be a good one.
Both of these teams, very, very different styles here. You're going to see a USF team, which I got a chance to kind of go check them out against East Carolina a couple weeks ago. This USF offense is just really, really inconsistent. 1 minute they're moving the ball up and down the field on you, and then 1 minute they can't get themselves out of a wet paper bag. On the other side, Ed Oliver on defense for the Houston Cougars, he is unstoppable. He will probably be a top 5 pick, top 3 if we're really lucky. He's been the best player defensively in college football for the last couple of years. He spurned LSU, he spurned Texas to go to Houston where he would build something, and he's done that. He's the most complete defensive player I've seen probably since Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh on the defensive side. As far as the defensive lineman is concerned, if you haven't had a chance to see him, please go watch this game, even if it's just for that. We have a former Alabama quarterback in Blake Barnett for the USF Bulls. I understand why he transferred. He is not ready. He is one of those guys where you have to put a bunch of athletes around him. USF likes to run that inside zone and then kind of build off that with that read option game with him on the goal line. Expect to see that a lot. But I think Ed Oliver is going to be all over this thing. They're going to move him up and down the line of scrimmage and create havoc. This one's going to be ugly. This one's going to be really ugly. And if Charlie Strong doesn't kind of mix it up offensively, USF might be in trouble.
All right, and we're going to go to another top 25 showdown. We're going to go from one Cougar to the next Cougar. Washington State Cougars, that is, at number 14, going to see the number 24 Stanford Cardinal. Washington State comes into this game 6-1, Stanford at 5-2.
Stanford has been very confusing this year. 1 minute they're just gashing people, hitting them in the mouth like we're used to seeing. But then when they play other teams that seem to be a bit more athletic, it seems like they're not able to keep up. It's one of the flaws with David Shaw. He plays an old school NFL style where we're hitting people in the mouth. We're lining up with 2, 3, sometimes even 4 tight ends. Bryce Love hasn't been the Bryce Love we remember from last year. You can forget him even sniffing the Heisman discussion. But for me, when I look at how this game is going to go, I expect this game to be the last time these teams met, it was a 24-21 Washington State win. I think the score will be somewhere around that area. It's going to be a close game. Stanford likes to play it close to the vest. Washington State, we know how Mike Leach likes to do it. He's wide open with this offense, spreading everything around. He is going to really try to attack this secondary and really get after this Stanford defense who has had problems all year stopping the pass.
All right, let's go number 6, Texas versus Oklahoma State.
This is going to be one of the more intriguing matchups. We have Mr. Gundy. He's a man. I don't really know. I don't remember how old he was, but the last time he reminded me, he was a man. He was 40. He has a mother. So you do the math. But no, seriously, this is going to be one of those games where you're going to see a lot of offense. Texas, they have 3 giants at receiver, one of them being Lil Jordan Humphrey, who happens to be about 6'6". He's going to be the guy that you want to watch on offense. He's going to be able to there's going to be a lot of jump balls thrown in this game, a lot of screens from Texas. The running game's coming along decently. Sam Ellinger's really been playing pretty well. Texas's defense has been consistent. That Oklahoma game was the turning point for this program, and I think they're not looking back. On the other side of things, Justice Hill, running back, Oklahoma State, he's the guy to watch. And by the way, this is the 30th anniversary for this week of Barry Sanders winning the Heisman. Man, it makes me feel old. But by a side note on that, they're saying this same Mike Gundy was the quarterback for Barry Sanders, who, by the way, had to sit behind Thurman Thomas for a few years. So all that to be said, Oklahoma State will be rocking those old school uniforms. Love those old school ones. I actually have my throwback Barry Sanders in the closet. I might have to pull it out for that game. But I expect a lot of points in this game, a typical Big 12 matchup. Mike Gundy might have to really scheme his way out of this one in a typical Big 12 showdown.
All right, and last and probably least, we got Hawaii visiting Fresno State.
Fresno State, really explosive offense. Really want to see how they're able to really defend. Not scoring points won't be the problem. It's defending this Hawaii offense, which started off hot early. Hawaii has brought back the run and shoot from years and years ago. We don't really remember the run and shoot offense, but it was one in the beginning, way back when. That teams were running spread offenses way before now. But now they've implemented a lot of the newer read option stuff, the RPO stuff. So you're going to see an explosive offense here. So expect a lot of points scored. I want to see this offense grow as the years go on. So please, Hawaii, just work with this program. Don't fire any coaches. Just stay the course. Stay the course. But I'm just going to throw this out there. I expect Fresno State to win this one.
All right. And there you have it, everybody. If you play in our college pick'em group, just make sure you take heed to the information that you were just provided. Like I said, if you're having any trouble, if you're on the fence about any picks, then maybe that information helped you out in doing what you got to do. So, Fred, this is going to be – are you going to be around for the games this weekend?
I won't. I will actually be on my honeymoon, so I won't be able to catch this. This weekend is going to be really crazy because here I got to give a shout-out to my high school, Kathleen High School. We're actually playing our crosstown rival, so that's going to be a huge one on Friday, but I'm leaving out on Friday. So that's going to be – I have to miss that one. Miami plays on Friday. Got to miss that one, although I might have that one on in the car on the way. And
I was about to say, I know you're gonna get yourself in trouble this weekend, sneaking on your phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put my phone away. So, guys, just just make sure you at me. Anything you see, just at me on Twitter, because I'll be able to check it out when I come. We're kind of doing a little bit of nothing. I get a little bit of by myself time. The 2 or 3 seconds I get.
Well, I know you've heard this one before, especially on your way to your journey, leading up to your journey. But if you haven't, just take it from a 12-year vet. Happy wife, happy life. Remember that, and you'll always be good. All right, everybody. So Fred's not going to be around on Saturday, so don't be trying to tweet the man. He's doing some important stuff. But we will be right back here with you next week for another episode of Quick Slants, because this is how we do. So I hope y'all have a happy college football Saturday. Hit me up if you want. If I can get some time off of my busy schedule, which is really my son's busy schedule, I'll be around. So hit me up during the games, and if anything interesting happens, I'll make sure word gets back to Fred. So for my partner, Mr. Fred Perdue, the newly broom-jumped Mr. Fred Perdue, I'm Devin McMillan. This has been another episode of Quick Slants. You know what we always tell you guys, don't accept mediocrity, be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.